Welcome to Colney Talk Podcast.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to another exciting episode of Colney Talk Podcast, your bite-sized breakdown show. I'm your host, Alex. First-time listeners, glad to have you here. And to my returning guests, thank you for sticking with me. As always, I talk a bit about the Arsenal match and pick out my top 3 players who shined and one odd player, not good enough, I get to call out. Another London Derby win. I'm glad we won the game. And there are a number of things to highlight worth mentioning, but the body of the game is one where we struggle to shake off a lot of weirdness. And for a team that has overcome a lot, they're still, they are fully to be commended, but geez, where is the command and qualities? Where is the, fight to really take it to some of these teams? I understand the inconsistencies of attack and every other thing that comes with it, but in the game, they show that fight. They show that they've gone over that hump in so many ways. But in front of goal, it's not about missing pieces anymore. Those players that are there should be able to do exactly that, because it would have been a different conversation if they're struggling to find a way to get up there. Maybe the ease is so much about how we drive and, get our ways into dangerous areas and create opportunities. But I think there is just something to be said about the body of a team when we are trying to attack and score in a way that should represent what they have done up to that point. It's still an enigma for me. So, we keep moving anyway, but there is just that feeling, and that's how we did reflect in this game. First half, Arsenal came out swinging with really good plays. Martinelli starting this game certainly did help crank up our attacking plays. He helped with some pace, moved the game a little bit quicker, which was great. I think our passes felt like a little bit more of a one-touch pass, and that was refreshing. It was short-lived, but that was really good. This is something that I cannot wait to see us do in entirety of a game or in several consistent ways, because we play with finesse. But when it comes to certain passes and the rhythm of little or no hesitation in the box, I'm really yearning for that. And, with those one quick plays, we did have early chances and block shots. That kept Chelsea on the back foot, and that's even what got our momentum flowing. I thought VAR, on the other hand, was either ruling blindly or simply watching a different game, because it didn't seem like the team was looking for some sort of a quick way to get one over. But I'm pretty sure if they go back and look at some of their rulings for this particular match, they would have gotten it wrong, especially one that was very critical. Penalty, red card, or several calls that just didn't make sense. And if it was as it should have been, who knows how this game would have been. But again, it's more of the story of VAR just being VAR as far as Premier League goes. Ødegaard came to light in this game. He was the guy weaving, spinning, pulling strings, and making Chelsea dance to our tune. We pressed them a lot, and we did that into making them, create a lot of mistakes, but we failed to capitalize on it. A lot of those breakout chances would have turned into some shots that could have gone in. And, oftentimes there are several games that would have been described as, there should have been a 3-4-0 game. There should have been a game that we should have scored more. There's several of that. It's not immune to any team in several ways that they play, but we had that. We created those chances. We made it into our favor, but we just didn't do much with it. Merino's goal from the corner, that was a thing of beauty in the sense that, another one. So thank you, Set Piece FC. This was great. It gave us a chance to go up early in the game and, take it further and how much we wanted to manage, the situation. Chelsea woke up and they started causing us troubles. They had their pace. They had their quick passes. It was quite exciting as how they were moving forward, but we had to nullify them as much as we could. Cucurella was a bit bouncy on the right side, and Raya had a heart-in-mouth moment when he almost gifted Chelsea a goal. That was scary. It was clear that both teams were missing a proper striker, and it showed in so many ways. When we had the ball, we created chances going forward, but sometimes it felt like we were juggling eggs and carefully trying to get our ways into the places that we could have just, played without hesitation. And it made us not quite dangerous enough. Whiffed shots, poor decisions on final plays in the box, that killed us. That really nullified several chances that we had to strike. Those were our chances that we could have capitalized on quite early, and it really was quite frustrating. I think that was the overall feel for this game, as to not sure what to expect, or maybe expect less. This is what I mean by suffering from some foggy game influence in terms of playing with some more, command or belief in what they were doing. They worked really hard. That's the credit there. And they took it that far to the place where they should have just finished their meal, finished what was in front of them. But somehow it wasn't matching. It simply wasn't reflective of those scoring chances. Attempts, I can live with that. I live with that as much as any other person. It just felt like we were running short of that. Some shyness, some, overthinking. Maybe that's just the best way to think about it, overthinking. As the whistle blew for the halftime, two things stood out for me. We controlled the game. It was in our favor. We had the momentum. We had some ideas of what we were going to do, and it was paying off. And Ødegaard was cooking up a storm, getting Merino, Martinelli, and Timber involved in several ways to get our attack really meaningful chances to do something. And then the second part, Miles Lewis-Skelly again. He makes you forget so many things about his backstory of who or where he's coming from. And so many of that goes away when you're watching the game, and you just go, wow, he's simply incredible. And I'm thankful to keep enjoying watching him play. The sky's just the limit for him. So those were my first really good impressions from the first half. Second half, after the break, Chelsea came out like a bull in a china shop. We had to change our tune. Less dancing, more digging in after we put up a score. We had a game to protect. Chelsea took over our tempo, but we owned defense in the game. This match, in every way that they try to go forward, again, this was where they lacked any threat up top. But we handled the rest from a defensive standpoint. And as much as Chelsea tried to come up with their own attack, we had the answers in terms of defensive plays and how we wanted to manage the game. And, that was having them deal with different combinations that they're trying to come up with. It gave them a lot of fits, and it exposed that bluntness on their part. But we had our own business to take care of. Now, Timber, he turned into a human wall on our right, because as much as Cucurella had a few of those bright moments, Timber was not going to, let that fly a lot. Every time Chelsea tried to break through, it was like, not on my watch. And there was, fewer times that they happened, and a lot of, physical duels and battles. And I guess that's what the game was about. We brought in some fresh legs, and it was like giving a tide runner a second wind. We played the clock like a fiddle, speeding up, slowing down, trying to maintain and control possession when we had it, when we needed to. And frankly, nothing really exciting to recall. And I guess the style of the game was just to make it boring, or, not give them any more reason to be excited. We just simply couldn't find a knockout punch with the chances that we tried to create earlier on, or every other thing in between. The awful calls and, situations that kept breaking up plays. We had chances to counter, but it was like teasing to break out, but then we lost composure. And I think it's, again, maybe a way we try to manage the game it seemed like we had lost our attacking steam, but not defensively because we had that game plan on stock. I mean, Chelsea couldn't find a way through. We knew we were not going to expose ourselves anymore or give them any reason to get in closer to areas that, we couldn't really get them out. I mean, the game got spicy with a lot of yellow cards flying around like a confetti, but we kept our cool. But, like I mentioned, VAR had different version of the game for us. If VAR had those early calls in the game, it would have completely been a different overall feeling. And this was on multiple occasions. So my take for me was we got the points when we scored early, and that was the better outcome since it looked like we were not going to see a fair game ruling as far as VAR goes, which is really ridiculous. But again, no need to give them any more airtime because it's not the first time we've dealt with this. That was the game. 1-0 to the Arsenal, and credit to the boys for getting the 3 points. They just came in, did the business, and just left because anything else would just be like extra talk. So that was that. Now here's me hopping on to my top 3 standout performance in this match. First player, Mikel Merino. Merino's performance continues to impress me on the basis of things that we don't see in the stat sheet. I think all of this will make him even more crucial in the long run as a starter. He is looking to me like someone that is going to be hard to keep on the bench. His goal was nice, but it was his all-around play that really stood out. Merino's ability to drop deep and link up allowed our players to attack wide, make run behind Chelsea's defenses. The way he drags defenders and helps opening up passing lanes, I know Ødegaard is enjoying that even more. Defensively, Merino's work rate, just exceptional. He was disruptive again in Chelsea's build-up play, and this is one of the reasons why I think he's going to be one of those players really hard to drop, because his tactical intelligence and the influence that he brings in this team has given Arteta yet another interesting element, similar to what Rice brings in certain ways, which, comes up in a way that Merino will more often than not be deployed in attack. He may look like a decoy playing in the midfield, but then as the game would evolve, similar to what Havertz did earlier in the season, where he starts playing as an 8, and next thing you know, you see him playing as a 9 or as a striker. Yeah, even when we have our proper attacking lineup, I'm not going to be surprised seeing Merino up top, because he has those qualities. He's showing it now. Why stop? Why do anything that would, not necessarily help us? Because all that will do is to keep the defenders guessing, and that is something we're definitely going to see a whole lot more of. So, great performance from him. Second player, Jurrien Timber. Timber was just amazing. His performance, this was one of his best. I think he was playing with swagger, straight up. Defensively, he was impeccable, consistently winning his one-on-one duels and showing excellent positional awareness. In terms of attack, he was playing like it all clicked for him in this game. I mean, Cucurella couldn't contain him at all. His dribbling, his crosses, he should have converted. One of them should have converted into a goal at least the first early minutes in the game, where VR just decided to do something otherwise. It's not a coincidence that Ødegaard was playing just as good. They both made each other look good in the match. The way they were clicking and connecting, yeah, it showed itself in this game, and more of it, because we need it for this remaining few games we have. Third and final player, obviously, as you would know, Martin Ødegaard. He was in form, doing his usual bits of freezing Chelsea's players and setting up Merino and Martinelli. A lot of his plays were great. I'm not sure why he was shy from taking instinctive shots. I mean, and these were moments when it opened up for him. It did a couple of times. It doesn't have to be pass first all the time. A little selfish play would have been all the difference from 1-0 to 2, or made it a bit more interesting. Who knows? But given how much he was involved to drop in to pick up the ball from Saliba, and getting caught up between hesitating on a final pass and getting some of the players, dragged out from position. He had the keys to cause more chaos. And that's why I wonder why he left that last bit of shooting and doing some of those things there. Overall, I thought he was good. He was great in the game and definitely deserves a mention. No odd player to call out in this match. The team played very well. They played off the ball for the most part, especially displaying defensive discipline in the second half. Maybe it was by design. If it ain't broke, don't lose 3 points. So I guess they did it and it worked. So that's that. This 1-0 win over Chelsea is much needed. Yes, we did grind out a result against this tricky team, albeit short-handed as well. We just played this game to handle our business and make sure all these factors were aligned, which bodes well for us to continue to put a distance in securing second place and, dealing with all the other things. It's overall how we would like it to be. Not shiny, not sexy. We get a 3 points, we move on. So that's that. So, kudos to team overall. And with that, I'll wrap it here for this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember, like, subscribe, and share with your fellow Gunners. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.